Guys, we're back for another episode of DC Defender Show. We got a big guest, a super fan, a super guest. Alex, you know what to do.
Hit the music.
We're taking that final turn before training camp starts. So we had to bring on our guy, DC Lemon Guy. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, fellas.
Man, the whole Beer Snakes and Lemon Heads, it's just unreal. Like the support that you guys have, especially that group that was at the event this past week.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know each other before?
So last season, we kind of knew each other a little bit, like as the season went on. And then when we went to the championship game, like we all traveled, all met up at the game, and just kind of from there, just in the off season, we're like, all right, we're going to meet up, before every event, whatever fan event we have, shoot some videos, just having fun.
So the Thursday night, you were at the Fan Fest or the season ticket holder. Yep. What was the highlight of the entire thing? We'll start there. We'll start at the highlight.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. It was great, just hearing Reggie and Moose, just talking about the season, the rule changes. But I mean, personally for me, it was when Coach Barlow fed the beer snake. Like he was such a great, such a good sport about everything. Crushed a cup of beer, added it to the beer snake, just crowd exploded. Everybody was just having such a good time.
Now,
I saw that video, by the way, too. That was really cool. Like he seemed to be, and then he started chanting, "Feed the snake, yep. Feed the snake."
He was one take, like total professional. Rest of us,
Well, my favorite part is you hear "and action," and so for you to say there was only one take. I'm glad that the word "action" was only screamed out one time for Coach Barlow. So
yeah. It's like Coach Barlow, one take, he filmed a couple other things, and just say after you've fed the snake a little bit, not as good as one take. Took a couple takes for us, but it was just such a fun atmosphere there in Solace Outpost. The fans showed up, and it was just I don't know, just the energy of DC is just great around spring football season, and just like we give energy, we get energy back from the team. Like we just all feed off each other.
Yep. Every player that I've talked to, absolutely, it's the highlight. I don't know if you saw the Davin Bellamy. He's played in Athens, he's playing in Knoxville, and he said Audi Field was just different than all the rest of them. So that's the tip of the hat to you guys.
Yeah, it's just like, I got season tickets last season. It's a different atmosphere when you step into Audi. Just it's loud, it's rowdy, and just like I've been to a lot of football games, and it is nothing like anything other football game I've been to. Yes.
That stadium is perfect too for spring football. It's a great size. I like the way it's tight. Seats go straight up, so you're nice and contained. Looks like they're great sight lines there, and just a great place to get rowdy.
Yeah, there's not a bad seat in the house. It's just 20,000 just in a bowl. Just not a bad seat in the house. I just love seeing all the fans come out. Just want to have fun with everybody. Even opposing fans. Like we don't, we're not mean towards opposing fans. We're like, hey, if you want to cheer with us, you can cheer with us. We welcome all.
So were you part of the 2020 as well, or you just came aboard last season?
So I was there in 2020. As actually the game that got canceled because of COVID was actually I was gonna take all my groomsmen for my bachelor party, but I had to pull an audible on that one.
I think that game was the Tampa Bay Vipers too that weekend. It was the Vipers at Audi Field because I was going to go to that game when COVID shut them down.
Yep, so I remember getting the email saying. I remember getting the email saying, "Oh yeah, here's your ticket refund." We're like, "Oh man."
Yep.
But but when it came back in last year, like I just told myself, like, all right, getting season tickets immediately. Like first day it was open, and just gonna find something to do, find a way to be a super fan.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the schedule this year? We got quite a stretch of home games right in a row.
Yeah, I think it's good kind of have that nice home game stretch in the middle. Like I think we're on the road like 3 of the first 4 weeks, something like that. But once we hit that midseason stride, like I just think we have the best home field advantage of any team. And I hope, that midseason home field stretch will just kind of carry the momentum for the rest of the season.
You said you went to the championship last year. Do you have any plans to go to away games this year?
So probably not going to get out to any away games this year, but I have already bought my tickets to St. Louis.
Yeah.
Calling a shot. Here we go.
Like,
That's 2 weeks in a row.
If we're there, that'd be amazing. If we're not, we're still going to show up.
There you go. We had a lot of people we saw in the USFL championship in Canton this year that showed up, and their teams weren't in the championship. It was really kind of neat to see people, we ran into a lot of Panther fans, some General fans. They bought tickets to be there to the championship. So, and it was a fun event. So love the attitude, but I'm telling you, DC is going to be in that thing. You're going to be cheering for somebody.
So fingers crossed, actually like XFL championship. Yeah. We had a lot, like people from every team showed up.
Yeah. As it should be.
And like, even like the San Antonio fans, like we met a lot of them like at the game, before the game, such nice folks. Like everybody's just there to have fun.
Yep. As it should be.
So, talking about this past season, what was the one game that you're like, that was the highlight of the whole season? The home schedule, I guess, since you were at every game.
Oh man, it's hard to put it on just one, but like the Battlehawks game was great. A lot of energy there, but like even just like the playoff game too is just crazy, like just crazy energy. I think it was like 45 degrees, a little rainy. Like not the best weather, but everybody showed up, and just by the end of the game, I'm pretty sure I screamed myself hoarse that game. Like it was, I have no voice after every Defenders game.
It should be a better season. Oh, go ahead, Alex.
I was going to say I was worried about. Sorry, Bob, I didn't mean to just stumble over you, but I was worried about that playoff game because I thought we were better than Seattle, but it's hard to beat the same team 3 times in one season. And I was like, I actually wanted the Battlehawks in the playoffs because I felt like they were a better matchup for us.
Yeah, but, like they're a great little rivalry. Like, and that's going to be probably some of the most intense games we'll play this year.
Yeah.
St. Louis and probably Birmingham too, because it's everybody everybody putting out their rankings like, oh, who's number 1, but we're not going to find out until after they play. After a couple weeks. We'll
Birmingham,
see
Arlington.
Yeah.
That opening week is going to tell a lot. I think when we see Birmingham and Arlington, it's gonna that will tell a lot. And granted, it's a 10-week season, but I'm really curious to watch that one because and I've been guilty of it too in terms of the power rankings and who has the best roster and whatnot. Coming from the USFL side, Birmingham was the top dog. They obviously got better with their roster. But, when I look at DC, when I look at our roster and we look at the talent on both sides of the ball, I don't know, Birmingham.
Like some of our defensive signing, it was like, oh, wow. That I think our defense can be twice as good as last year. We got a lot of good players in the draft.
No question.
Not even just the draft. You had Conley and you had Baker at corners. Now Michael Joseph is looking like possibly your third, cornerback. He was all XFL, or he could be your first, but now you got a first-round draft pick as your third. So I just loaded and talented.
Yep. We got better across the board, I think, in the draft. No question about it. The talent level's through the roof. I can't wait. Can we just kick off next weekend? Hey, Lemon Guy, could you get down there and just rally some troops and just get a couple hundred guys in the stands, get them fired up, and let's go play.
Oh, I can rally the troops. Like I've got, we got a big text with all the super fans in DC. So yeah, at least we'll show up. We can get people going.
Favorite player? Who's your favorite player? You got to choose one. I'm gonna put you on the hot seat here.
Abram Smith, like he was just a beast last year, and just having him back, like him, Ta'amu, like just we have the core of our offense back.
Yeah.
And that like to me, it's like, you have guys that already played with each other last year, they're gonna have more chemistry. It's gonna be good for like leading the new guys. Just that's a good locker room.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about beer snakes here.
Oh yeah.
What beer are you drinking to contribute to the beer snake?
Ooh.
How do you feel?
Which ones are at the stadium? I'm usually a mango cart guy.
Oh.
Okay.
Sophisticated.
Yeah, I like, I'm not like either that or, I'll do a Coors. But honestly, I'm a mango cart guy. I like a little flavor in my beer.
No Natty Bo at the stadium?
I don't think we have Natty Bo at that stadium, but if they have it, I'll drink it.
I got it in my fridge. Iron City and Natty Bo right out there if you want some.
All right.
Only the best.
Oh yeah. So I can run down. Yeah, I can run down to the store and get some too. Just hope they have it in the stadium this year.
Go ahead, Alex. I know you got some hard-hitting questions for the lemon guy.
I got some hard-hitting questions. So number one, you've taken your fandom to a professional level. Like we're talking elite fandom. We're not talking about just showing up with a ticket. We're talking about elite. Could you give the fans and other people that, may be looking one day to follow in your footsteps and to be the next lemon guy, give us an idea of your typical game day? Like, let's say it's a 12 o'clock kickoff at Audi Field. Can you walk us through sort of your routine and just sort of like what you do, on game day?
Okay, I mean, game day, let's see. If it's a 12 o'clock game, I usually try and get by the stadium at least like 10 o'clock, maybe hit at Walters or one of the other, Solace Outpost, one of the other places around the game, around the stadium. Maybe get a little bite to eat, maybe get a drink or two. But I Metro in, I recommend taking the Metro to games because it's just easy. You get off on the stop and it's like 3 blocks away.
Right.
But get there around 10, drink a little bit, get hyped, rally the fans, and head to the stadium about let's see. This 12 o'clock game, usually get there right about 11 when doors open.
Got it.
I just kind of just love saying hi to fans, high-fiving people, taking pictures. It's and for me, it's I don't consider myself a super fan or celebrity or anything like that. I'm just here to have a good time, and if I can make other people happy, that's great. I'm a fan too.
Absolutely. It's just that elite level that some of you guys put, you're setting the bar awfully high. Is there a pregame meal, like a breakfast or something that when for big games, it's you got to have it. It's biscuits and gravy at a granola bar.
Usually some pancakes and eggs and a nice tall cup of coffee.
That's nice. Got a little protein there. Got a little carb action to keep you fired up. That's great. Yeah. So the other hard-hitting question I had was more around history. So beer snake history. And help us here because I've been to college games before, and you sort of see the cups weaving up through the stands and whatnot. Is the beer snake an extension of that, or how did it start?
So I think around 2020 when the first when the XFL first came back, I think it was the 3rd or 4th game.
Yeah.
Something like that. Fans just started, stacking cups, building a beer snake, and just, ESPN started covering it and got the league on the map, and just went from there. And then after after COVID, when the league came back last year, we were saying hey, we're bringing the beer snake back. this is what got the league on the map, got eyeballs on everything, and got people excited about it. And so we'll tell a story about the lemons too. So first game back, 2022, where the fans were cool, we'll build the beer snake again, start stacking the cups and everything, and Audi security starts confiscating the cups. And so, as fans, we didn't appreciate that. And at the game, they were selling these pre-made cocktails with half lemons in them. And it started with a couple fans, just one lemon hits the field, 2 lemons hits the field, and then 50, 60 lemons. It just started raining lemons on the field. And just eventually the security said, okay, have your cups. So, and then Beer Snake lived on.
Was that the night? Was that the day that Lemon Guy was born? Because obviously you weren't Lemon Guy before then, right?
Yeah, so it was like the next week I said, I was like, I love this, and as fandom, we just started embracing the lemons. So I was like, okay, got a hat. I got like a little like Hawaiian shirt with lemons on it. I just kind of added to it kind of week after week. I found some shoes. I got like the bathing suit. And then it was right before the playoff game. I went to the Penn State blue and white game. And they had an equipment sale selling shoulder pads. And I was like, all right, $20 for shoulder pads. I got to do something with this. So I got like all these shields off of Etsy, just lots of paint and super glue, and said, hey, I'm just going to take this as far as I can.
I love it. And it's interesting, the whole story with the Lemonheads and how that all came about. And you created a tradition, and Webb can tell you, he's heard me sound off a couple of times. Like, I hate when you have these manufactured traditions. Like the marketing team gets in the room and says, come on, guys, we got to come up with something cute that'll be a tradition. See, that is a real tradition right there. The Lemonheads will stick because it sort of bore itself, or, it came from the struggle, right? You guys had to rise up. You had to make a statement, and you did by throwing lemons on the field. I admire you. And now we have a tradition that we can hang on to that is truly yours, mine. We can embrace it. It wasn't something that marketing came up with some cute little tagline. It's for real.
Yep. That's just, we just embraced it and, just taking it from there. I know like USFL has their dedicated mascots and all that stuff. DC, we're all our mascots are handmade.
Side note, that was Alex's shot at St. Louis through the Kickoff. Just to let you know, that was 100%.
And don't get me started on Gonzaga again. I hate Gonzaga. I hate that whole thing. The Kennel. They named their gym the Kennel, and it's like, that's dumb. You haven't been around long enough to call your gym something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta. It's cheesy. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
To talk about other sports, who do you root for outside of the Defenders? Who are your sport teams?
So outside of Defenders, I grew up watching Cal Ripken, huge Orioles fan, and just also a huge Ravens fan. Just like love Baltimore, their sports culture, and just they're fun teams.
No argument for me there. Nothing. Yeah. I mean, I love going to O's games, and I'm going to date myself here, but like I went to O's games at Memorial Stadium back on 33rd. And that place rocked. I mean, that's back when, they had Earl, they were winning like they're winning now. But I mean, you see going into Camden, sometimes you'll see a lot of Yankee fans, a lot of Red Sox fans there too, Webb, carrying on.
I wrote it.
Yeah. You didn't see that Memorial Stadium. I mean, you just didn't. I mean, it was Baltimore all the way. And it's good to see them winning again, bringing some of that pride back.
Yeah, I'll just say, at least like in my lifetime, they've been good maybe 4 seasons.
I got you about
a lot of misery.
I just remember go ahead.
No, Webb. I was just going to close by saying, as a kid growing up, I don't remember the Orioles being bad. They were fantastic, and Earl Weaver had great teams, and all the way into the mid '80s, they were very good. And then when it kind of started to tail off, it tailed off. But the team they have now, and then I'll kick it to you, Webb. I just tripped over you again. I apologize. The team they have now is built to win, not just this year, but for the future. They did a good job of building it right. So I think the Red Sox are going to be looking up at the O's for quite some time. Go ahead, Webb.
They are. But what I was going to say, like between 2005 and 2011, Southwest would run a special deal from Boston to Baltimore to take over Camden Yards. So
they did.
I've seen a couple games down there and everything, so they took over. But it's different now because we're the bottom dwellers now. So
I'll say it's like we have the best stadium in the MLB. Like it was just the prettiest, like new age retro looking stadium. Like it's a beautiful place.
They did it right. Well, it was the first one. It was the first of the retro ballparks to come back, and they nailed it. And I've been to a bunch of them, and Camden's just a very special place. But you mentioned, not to put you on the spot, you mentioned Penn State and the blue and white, going up to the blue and white game. Kind of had you pegged for a Terp.
Actually, I am a Terp. but my
Okay.
wife is a pet. My wife is a Nittany Lion.
Okay. I didn't mean to open up that can of worms.
Oh no. They have James Franklin. He was a Terp at one point, so
right.
I'll give him that.
Okay. I got you.
So yeah, I unfortunately suffered through the Randy Edsall years at University of Maryland.
You suffered. Yeah. Well, you had what was it, Ralph Region before them? He had some good teams. Yeah. And, if you really want to go back, Bobby Ross had good teams. They were always really good in the 70s and the 80s. Maryland and Clemson every year in the ACC. That used to be they were the two before Florida State got in the ACC.
Yeah.
But, again, Maryland's another program that I associate with good football because they were good for a long time.
Yeah. Now it's moving to the Big Ten. Yeah. We're not going to be an Ohio State, a Michigan, a Penn State yet. But
right.
It's going to take a while. But I have faith in Loxley. He's been recruiting better, but it's not going to happen for a while.
No, it's going to take a while. But if he can recruit that area, there's so much talent. And Webb and I've talked about it on this show. I really like Northern Virginia, Maryland, DC, that area for football, high school football.
Oh yeah.
I like the fans. I think there's a smart fan base in general. I think we see it with the Defenders, the Ravens, the Redskins. I'm sorry, the Commanders. Always be the Redskins to me. Sorry. But it's a great football area. And if Maryland can build a fence around that and really keep a lot of that talent at home from the DC area, they can be a factor in the Big Ten, I think, year in and year out.
Yeah, I went to high school at DeMatha. So we have powerhouse football.
Yeah.
We also have good counsel, I'd argue the best high school conference in the nation.
Yeah.
Just for talent, talented players. So, it's good that Maryland can kind of poach a few of those guys every once in a while now.
Yeah.
For a while it was just, Alabama, Ohio State, Georgia stuff. But we're grabbing a few of them.
It gets old. Well, not last thing I'll say, Webb, I'll kick it over to you, not to end it on a bad note, but literally I was on a conference call with a guy on Friday and we were talking about basketball and he was a Maryland guy and he loved Lefty Driesell. And I said, I just finished a great book on Lefty. It's right up there on my bookshelf. It was a wonderful read. I have a connection to him through a friend of mine back home whose father went to school with Lefty. So that was kind of the connection, but I'm sorry to see that he passed, but Maryland basketball as a kid growing up with Lefty Driesell, that was just, on a totally different level. And the rivalry with Dean Smith and all of these guys. It was just, it was just wonderful. But sorry to see, he had a wonderful career and a wonderful life, 92 years.
He did, yep. And then, we got Gary right after him.
Yeah, and won a national championship.
I remember going to a bunch of those games in Cole Fieldhouse.
Yeah, Cole Fieldhouse. Holy cow.
Yep.
What a madhouse.
Yeah. No air conditioning.
We went way down memory lane, Webb. Sorry about that. But
you're good.
This is what it is. DC, Maryland, Virginia. This is fandom right here.
Yeah, we're getting ready to kick up for this season. I'm going to put you on the spot before we go, Lemon Guy. What is your prediction for the DC Defenders this year?
Let's see.
You're representing all the beer snakes and lemon heads here.
Last year, regular season, we went 9-1. I'm going to say we're going to go 9-1 again. We got at least 5 wins at Audi. And we can find 4 on the road.
And at least beat Birmingham, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got to set the bar.
I think the one regular season game we lost last year was it was to the Guardians, but it was 1 point we missed a field goal to lose the game. So it's barely lost.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, you just triggered another question. How do you feel about the XFL with the rule, the 1, 2, and the 3 for the point after touchdowns?
I'm all for it. It's just exciting. It's not just, we're going to kick an extra point, 1 point. Now it's, hey, if you block, if they fail in the attempt, now they're down by 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4. So, it forces them to either do the 4th and 12 or, figure something else out.
I can't relax because with the 3 point for the extra point, I'm sitting there watching the game and I'm up 9. I'm like, hell, we're up 2 possessions. We're in good shape. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. They got the touchdown. They can go for 3. Yep. And they can make up a 9 point difference just like that. So you really, and I know that was the whole purpose, is that it does keep the games exciting, and you're not in a position where somebody's getting blown out and they don't have any chance to come back. So I mean, I totally get it. But yeah, it was interesting to see, like early in the year last year, how Seattle, the first couple of games, they went for 3 every time. And I don't think they converted one in the first couple of games. And then they started where they were going with the 2-point conversions versus the 3. But it does create an extra dimension to the strategy and an extra dimension to the game for sure.
Yeah. And just as like fans, it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Because, like sometimes, okay, we only got 6 now. If they score, they could go by 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And it's unpredictability.
I think they should add a 4-point field goal. Anything over like 55 yards should be a 4-point field goal.
Yeah, Justin Tucker range.
Tucker. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It rewards them for kicking a long field goal. It's kind of like in my fantasy league, I know that they give bonus points for long field goals for field goal kickers. So why not add it to the league?
Maybe next year. It's for now, just make it through this season. Make it to next year.
You see now why he's the host, Lemon Guy. He comes up with all these real intelligent ideas that he shares. I mean, he's so cutting edge.
That's supposed to be the analyst's job, though.
Nah, that's over my pay grade. You're not paying me enough for that.
All right, Lemon Guy. So after all our interviews, we like to give you the floor. We call it the end zone. So any shout outs to other Beer Snakes, Lemonheads, family, friends, DC Defenders Nation, whatever you guys want to call it. The floor is yours. Or if you're promoting something.
Let me try and remember everybody. Okay, we got District Defender. We got Doug Defender. We do have the Lemonheads. We have the head of the Beer Snake. We have Coach Barlow. All the DC, all the DC football fans. People come up from Virginia, out of town. All of you. Can't wait to see it, Audi, and hoping for a great season.
That's awesome. Thank you. You've been one of our top supporters from day one, so we appreciate you, man.
The second I heard we were getting a podcast, I was like, all right, got to rally behind these guys.
Thank you. Yeah, it means a lot. It really does. It's been like Webb said. He said, hey, we already got a guy that's going to help us out and follow us a bit. He's DC Lemon Guy. I'm like, he's a fan. I'm a fan of his right off the bat. So appreciate it.
I'm behind you guys 100%. And keep up the great work. It's great so far. Can't wait for more.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Alex, you got any parting words before we take
off? Before I hit everybody with so long, everybody, I want to tell you, DC Lemon Guy, I think you may be the first fan we've ever had obviously on this show, but I think even on a past show. So, I mean, I think you are the cutting edge fan to join Webb and I, and really appreciate it. And again, I do want to give you a shout out back. Appreciate all you guys do, because you nailed it. You guys created an environment at Audi Field that wasn't manufactured. It was organic. It's real. And it's, you said, what can I do to sort of turn it up a notch? And that's the feeling that you get in the whole atmosphere. And that's something that, the fans, I think, have created on their own to a large degree. And it's only going to get better. You got in on the ground floor. It's only going to keep getting better. So you can take a lot of pride in you started something there. So tip of the cap, my friend.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for having me on. Like this has been amazing. And
we'll have to catch up during the season. We'll have to catch up during the season. So you give us a little live look at the field and how the environment is. But
keep a look out there. We'll be making videos. So keep your eyes peeled.
How can we follow where you were going to put out these videos?
Okay, so Instagram and Twitter or X at DC Lemon Guy, and also District Defender will be putting out a lot of them. But I'll be retweeting everything.
Great,
that's awesome. All right, this has been the DC Defender Show with FanFest with DC Lemon Guy, Webb, Alex, and Lemon Guy. Shields up. We're out.
Shields up.